Good morning to everybody. Glad everybody's here this morning.
Morning.
At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Tudor.
Here.
Master Botkin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, I would like to ask Jerry Huffman from Tates Creek Baptist Church to come up and lead us in a word of prayer, please.
Thank you. Father, it truly is a privilege to be here today and to be a citizen of Madison County. We're so grateful for the people of this county and for those who are willing to be leaders of the county. We know that we live in difficult times and there are difficult circumstances that face all of us, and that demands that we have wisdom. And so I pray that you would give to our leaders tremendous wisdom that comes from God, and that the decisions that are made will be for the good and for the best of the citizens. And Father, as we at our church seek for the best for people for eternity, we know that our leaders are seeking decisions that will affect our lifetime. And so we pray your blessings on them. Thank you for what they provide for us. Thank you for the security and safety and the assistance our first responders give to us. And we pray for their protection and your blessings upon this entire county. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, everybody rise. Sheriff, if you don't mind.
If you would stand, face the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Sheriff. Guys, y'all have had a chance to look over the minutes from last meeting. This time I need a motion and a second to approve those minutes, please.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Botkin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Guys, Glenna was absent today, so the treasurer's report, y'all had an opportunity to, it's on Dropbox. We did ask Melanie to come over just in case y'all had any questions about anything.
I didn't have any questions about it, Judge, but the one thing that I have asked Chris to do is that they just simply go through, Chris, with that document so we can get the format right on it. It's horrible to try to read that with it flipped up sideways and it jumping around. If we could just get that part fixed out. I mean, the only question I had was on the jail, which we know what that is anyway, so. I didn't need it. I was able to read it, but you really have to work at it to get through 50 pages of it jumping around like that.
Any other comments, questions?
I just noticed we're paying out quite a bit to Clark County and these other counties to house their inmates, so I don't know what we can do other than try to find some room for them here, and that's something we're looking into, Judge.
Right.
So it's kind of be expensive for the county right now, but we're working on a situation here.
About 8,000 this month.
Yep. A little over that, Larry, I believe. 11 something's what I looked into. So.
Oh, you kept juveniles.
All right. First order of business is the second reading of ordinance 1509. It's a land use change, Kentucky Auto Parts on 642 Mount Vernon Road. This was a recommendation from our Planning and Zoning Board, and it's changing it from UC1 Urban Corridor Residential to UC5 Urban Corridor Industrial for a 1.16 acres. And I need a motion and a second.
Judge, I'm sorry, anybody here that wants to speak in favor of or opposition to it? Second reading, it's a public reading. We'll have. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
I move we accept the second reading, Judge, this ordinance.
Second.
Any discussion, guys? Call the roll, please.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Botkin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is presenting the tax rate, Madison County Health Department.
Good morning. I just have a few informational handouts. The departments are big on passing out. educational information. So let me make sure I got some of our brochures information here. So you all know what we're up to these days.
Thank you.
And if there are any questions ever about anything, feel free to call us back, because we're glad to talk about anything that we have to. Our tax rate stayed the same this year. It is 5 cents. It's been that way for 10 years, and we're thankful. I can't outdo Reverend Huffman in praying, but I can tell him how thankful we are to the citizens of Madison County for the support. Public health is all of us. Every day I say I have 87,000 patients, and I do. Plus, we also have MEPCO services in Estill and Powell County, so we serve a wide area and have done so for quite some time. We'll be celebrating our 85th anniversary. Have a special homecoming ceremony to which you gentlemen and the other elected officials are going to be invited. Just giving you all that it's a heads up on September 29th at 3:30 at our Boggs Lane campus. So we would, again, you all get a special invite, but we're looking forward to having you all join us there and celebrating all that we've done and all that we plan to do. Are there any questions?
I'm sure that I should know this, and I apologize, but under the divisions and locations at the Richmond campus, there is HANDS.
Hands, yes. That's short for Health Access Nurturing and Development Services. It is a home visitation program for first-time parents and now second-time parents as well with at-risk type situations. It's a state program. It's paid for with general fund money through Medicaid, and it has had great success in reducing abuse and neglect in that population that opts to go into HANDS. It's voluntary and, again, is very much successful and evidence-based.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
The Medco, it's sound and solid, right?
At this time, yes, we have had to do a good many, changes. Home health is like all health care, one-on-one, clinical type services is subject to all kinds of cuts. We have had reimbursement issues with the Medicaid managed care. That has been a trial for, I guess, basically to adjust to instead of one payer to 5, and sometimes now 6 or 7 with different requirements, billing, and what have you. But we have been able to adjust to the times, and the biggest issue that we probably face now is the general overall demand for nursing services has increased quite a bit. While people have gotten, a number of us thankfully have health insurance under Connect, that just creates a higher demand for more services and more nurses to hire everywhere, and that has been a challenge for us. But I don't think there's a nurse in this county that doesn't get recruitment mailers from all the hospitals and all the other entities here. That's the tough issue, is staffing right now.
Well, I know it's been a trying time for you all.
Yes.
And I appreciate what you're all doing, and I'm sure all the people that participate appreciate it also. But I know there was some problems with Clark County. Did they continue theirs?
Theirs
Maybe
is,
that's not fair to ask.
well, yes, that's fine. To my knowledge, yes, they still are going strong, and we are too as well. And we celebrated our 40th anniversary last year. In 1974, I think we're the oldest public health home agency in the state, and we're also the only one that is accredited by the Joint Commission. So that's a very positive sign of quality there, and we, I think we do a good job.
Well, I think y'all do a good job, and I want to be the first to commend you
Thank
on
you.
that. And I want to thank you for reworking whatever you had to do to keep this program going, because I think it's very vital to, I know it is in Madison County, I'm sure it is in the Estill Pale.
Well, I think the people really who are responsible for it are the Board of Health. They believed in it. And we do a monthly or every board meeting, they get a report on the financial status and the productivity of MEPCO, how our staff's doing, and all of the other issues we also present to them. And also, too, the people that really have made this happen have been the actual leaders of MEPCO, not me. I just let them do their job.
Well, you gotta be.
And they
the
do
neck
it well.
that turns the head.
Pardon?
You gotta be the neck that turns the head.
And well, yeah, I guess so. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wanna thank you again.
Thank you so much, very much. Any other questions
I also would
from
like to
you gentlemen?
like to commend you and your board for keeping your finances in balance without raising taxes this year. That's a tremendous asset with all the high price cost of medical expenses and all the services you all provide for Madison County. We appreciate you very much.
Thanks so much. We definitely are here for all of us, all the taxpayers. I tell my staff that my favorite pronoun is we, all of us. Or like when I used to live up in Harlan County, it was us'ns and we-uns, you-uns too, you-uns too. So,
We all working together.
Yeah.
yes,
And you do accept TRICARE, is that correct? Did I see that
yes,
for the veterans?
for MEPCO too, and as of July 1st, our clinic accepts insurance as well.
Good.
So for the services they offer. So,
Great.
yes, I
Thank
agree. Anything else, gentlemen?
Appreciate you.
Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you all too. Thank you.
So, guys, I want to make sure everybody understands that we're accepting to place their tax rate on the bill. So that's what I need a motion and a second for.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Combs,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is the Extension Office. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad you're here.
Hope you all are having a good day. I'm just going to put that down just a little bit. My name is Amanda Sears, and I'm the horticulture agent at the Madison County Extension Office, but I'm also the acting fiscal coordinator of Budget Matters. Our district board met on August 12th to set our tax rate, and the board chose to use the same rate as they did last year, and that's going on, I think, the 9th year, perhaps the 10th year we've had the same rate. That rate is real property, 1.5 cents per $100, personal property, 3.25 cents per $100, and motor vehicle, 1.3 cents per $100. That should give us plenty at our current budget. And are there any questions? That was probably pretty brief, but
Amanda, I'd just like to say y'all have a wonderful facility out there.
Mm-hmm.
Been able to build onto it within the last several years, and looks like everything's you're serving the county in a wonderful way with your extension programs, and just continue to do the good work that you do.
thank you. Yet we were able to build a building without taking a loan. We had saved our money, so we're still building back up our coffers from that large purchase or building. But we are very grateful for our building and for your all's support in everything that we do. Thank you so much.
I think that building's probably utilized more than anything
is.
else.
Yes,
exactly right.
it is. Not just for our programs, for programs throughout the county. It's been a real blessing, I think.
I'd like to see more agencies do what you all done.
Well, thank you.
Good job.
If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to call me at the extension office or call on any of the agents. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, guys, again, I need a motion and a second to accept the tax rate that's presented by the Extension Office to place on the tax bill.
So move. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is Carlos, Madison County EMS.
Thank you, Judge. I think everybody at the court, I left them a informational packet there.
There's a lot of information in there. I won't take the time to go over it, but you can certainly peruse it, and then any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. Happy to report that our board met on the 20th of this month and kept our rates the same at 4.9 on real property, unchanged at 6.0 on tangible property, motor vehicles, watercraft, et cetera. Included in your packet is a budget. You'll see it's $5,518,000. It's the exact same dollar figure as our budget last year. Some line items were moved around to make that work. So we're being very conservative with the taxpayers' money. We've tightened our belts very tightly. I think you should be proud of the work that the folks at EMS do. We've got a great board, so we're in a really good situation to excel as far as EMS goes. Any questions about what we do?
Well, I'm very proud of you, and I'm glad you'll be able to keep the same rate. And of course, you and I have talked many times about the new building in Berea, and I know where you stand on that now.
Want me to update you real quickly on that?
Well, yeah, I think the rest of the court would like it.
We did purchase some property in Berea several months ago on Rash Road, 2 acres. We plan to build a new building there. Where we are, we've outgrown, we're landlocked, we can't add on to the building at all. We put out the bids for I think it's 8,600 square foot facility. The bids came in roughly $500,000 more than we anticipated. So on the advice of the county attorney, and thank you for doing that for us, we're going to reject all bids, maybe put it out to bid. There's not a lot of areas to cut. We really looked at it when we did some cost projections on that particular building, and there's no very expensive things in the building. It's a pretty basic building. I mean, it'll be usable for many, many years, but we don't want to cut square footage or we'll kind of be where we are. So I think right now we're going to meet our next board meeting to decide our exact plan, but we've rejected those bids and we'll likely rebid it in the coming months.
I don't think you could have got a better location.
That's a great location.
It is
I
good.
mean, you can go 4 different ways there.
Yep.
And like when you and I talked, I see a lot of that's got to do with there's just a lot of construction work going on right now, and they probably don't need the work.
And that was one of the feelings from the architect, that there's a lot of public work projects going on right now, and that maybe the profit margins have increased. We don't know that for sure, but the square footage cost of that building based on what it was just seemed extremely high.
What is your time schedule, Carlos, for trying to get construction started on that?
Well, we're not sure till I meet with the board in September. I would think we would rebid it. My thought would be maybe January and maybe try to start it in the spring. We're functioning just fine out of our current building. We've just outgrown it. Our run volume continues to increase. Last year we did just shy of 15,000. We're on target this year to do about 16,000. Berea particularly is getting busier. We run 2 ambulances 24/7 down there, but a lot of times we're pulling an ambulance from our enterprise location to go down and cover. So that area, the run volume is certainly growing, so that's something we need to look at in the future, is adding additional crew in that area.
I appreciate you doing that because that is important, and I'm sure the people of Southern Madison County appreciate that when you
Absolutely.
pull that. That way there's somebody there all the time.
I sat in on that board meeting where they opened the bids, and I want to commend the board and Carlos for not accepting it, and maybe the people will suffer a little while longer about needing the facility, but still yet this just proves that you can't just, whatever the price is, go ahead and pay it, And you may end up having to do that, but let's go a little further and check it out and see if there is something that we can cut.
Certainly think it's worth the time to rebid it, and if they come back in at that price, maybe that is the price of that
Right.
building. But it surprised me, it surprised the architect, the cost estimator, I think was, we thought was high, but it just seemed pretty extreme on the price of that particular building.
How many bidders did you have on that?
We ended up with 4. And I think that's just because there's a lot of work going on right now, and a lot of people are tied up in maybe bonding issues, and actually having good skilled laborers that are available to do it may have been detrimental to this particular project.
Just keep up the good work, Carl.
Yep. Thanks,
you all.
Carlos.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Guys, at this time again, we'll be, need a motion and a second to accept the Madison County EMS tax rate to be placed on the tax bill.
So move.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Buckley?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Madison County Library. Ruthie. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ruthie Maslin, Director of the Madison County Public Library. Excuse me. Beautiful weather, but my allergies are still giving me trouble. I would like to start out this morning by recognizing Magistrate Roger Barger for his many years of faithful attendance at all of our library board meetings and functions, his good counsel, his guidance to the board in his capacity as liaison between the fiscal court and the Madison County Public Library Board. And Roger, on a personal level and on a professional level, you have just been such a rock, and I appreciate that so much. Roger is ending his tenure in that position, and we're so pleased to have Magistrate John Tudor replacing him, and look forward to working with you as well, John. I appreciate that so much. Second, I would like to, of course, thank the taxpayers of Madison County for their financial support of what the library is doing in Madison County. And also, along those lines, thank County Clerk Kenny Barger and Sheriff Mike Coyle and their staffs for their diligence in collecting and distributing those tax revenues. And finally, I'd like to thank Judge Taylor and the entire court for their continuing good stewardship of taxpayer dollars and their guidance of the growth of this county. I mean, it's because of the growth of the county that all of us are able to maintain a level playing field when it comes to taxes. So I appreciate that so much. I have passed out a little schedule for you, and within that is a little recap of our tax rates over the last 6 years for the library. And on the back of the page is some highlights from this previous fiscal year, FY15. And I am pleased to report that on August 19th, the Madison County Public Library Board of Trustees voted to retain the same tax rates as 2014 at 5.6 cents for real property, 8.5 cents for personal property, and 3.5 cents for motor vehicles. And these rates have remained the same or have been lowered in some cases for the past 6 years. At the bottom of that sheet is just a capsule of the library's budget for this coming fiscal year. And I'm also pleased to report that within that time of being able to maintain those tax rates, we have just come off posting a record year statistically of usage of the library. And that was capped by a summer reading program that saw nearly double participation over the previous year. So people are using their library services. We have a tremendous staff and a tremendous board who work really hard to present those services in a fiscally responsible way. And that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'm glad to field those.
I'd just like to say a few things about the library. It amazed me when we're in a meeting that any issue they had, or if they needed to come up with a new idea, the staff usually comes up with an idea. And they're welcomed, and they would bring a couple of the staff in about every meeting until they go through all the staff and introduce them to the board. What your idea is, what do you like, what do you don't like. So most of their things that you see that happen at the library every day was determined by the staff or the board. It wasn't something from outside usually, but because they usually handle it themselves. Got a great staff. They're very polite. I mean, we get comments all the time. It was just unbelievable. Ruthie took over Sue Hayes' place, was top notch to start with, and then Ruthie came in and just kept it rolling. It amazes me how the numbers can keep increasing, but they do. Ever since I've been on that board, the number of people coming is increasing. A lot of the programs they have are packed every time they have them. They do a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruthie.
Ruthie, I'd just like to say I enjoyed sitting in with your meeting the other night and look forward to working with you in the future. Y'all had some plans the other night of expansion of the Richmond and the Berea libraries. I know that's something that's very well needed, and I just commend you that you're willing to, not raise your tax rate this year. Possibly in the future you're going to have to for these expansions, but with all the traffic and the service you all provide up there, it's just tremendous on what kind of service and how many people actually utilize the library up there. Thank you all so much for what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a goal this year of reaching 60,000 card holders and circulating 600,000 items. Right now, we're about 62% of the population has a library card. I encourage you to help us meet that goal this year. And thank you very much. Are there any other questions?
Thanks. So guys, again, we're going to need a motion and a second to accept the Madison County Library tax rate to be placed on the tax bill.
So move.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, next on the agenda is a placement of a library board member. I would like the court's permission to accept Jackie Kuchar to the library board. I think she will be a great asset. Right now she's works at EKU, and her title is University Records Officer, Special Collections and Archives. So I think she'll be a great addition to the library board. So at this time, I need a motion and a second to approve her as a library board member.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is a policies and procedures manual for the jail. If y'all will remember, back in I think it was January or February, we actually voted on the policies and procedures manual for the jail. This is a requirement from the Department of Corrections, and Doug has actually made some amendments to it. So we need to make a motion and a second to approve the new policies and procedure standards. And it's my understanding the Department of Correction helps you all in. Yeah, go ahead, please. What was your question? It's my understanding the Department of Corrections helps as far as they recommend.
Yeah, this is something we have to do anytime we go in and add or take away, that we have to come over here to Fiscal Court and get approved. Of course, we go through Mark also first, and Mark and I got together, I think, last Monday, and went over the changes, and he agreed everything was good, and then we have to bring it to your all's court and get approval for Department of Corrections.
Okay. Any questions, guys, for Doug?
And there was some changes made, but if you want to know what they were, you're welcome to come over to my office, we'll sit down, and there might have been maybe 10 or 12 of them. The changes made, some we added and took away, and just reworded to make it work better for us. So
A lot of it was cleanup, wasn't it?
yeah, a lot of it was cleanup, yes.
It
You're
was
welcome to
a,
come over to my office. We can sit down and show you the changes.
It was really a good thing we got a chance to look that one over in advance. It was a pretty healthy manual.
Yes, it is.
So we appreciate you getting that to us early.
I've got one question, Doug, on it would be on page 5. It says that the jailer shall notify the office of the county judge executive of any unusual incident that happens, say, at the detention center that could result in legal action against Madison County. I think the court needs to be included in that.
Doesn't the judge report to the magistrates?
Well, we had incidents a few weeks back. I still haven't heard about it. The only place I heard about it was on TV and on the street. You know, you made that statement one time, you heard more on the street than you did in the court. So I'm saying the same thing.
But what was on the TV,
Happened in 2013, I think.
it happened like 2 or 3 years ago.
You wasn't here. I understand that.
But that was not a new incident. That was something that was brought to the attention years ago.
Right.
I think probably the procedure is to notify the judge, and the judge in turn can then notify the court as needed. There may be some particular reasons because of timing issues that you wouldn't want to reveal everything in public right up front. There could be some investigatory issues or other matters which needs to have some degree of privacy as things develop. So I think probably it's best to go ahead and provide that to the judge and then have the judge disseminate that at the appropriate time. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, there's nothing that I hold back from the magistrates, you know. I know you're not.
What you're referring to, Larry, was an incident that happened in 2013. I think that the news just got wind of that recently, and there's going to be a hearing or a trial on that in the future, but it's nothing that frequent. that
Normally, I've
we've had.
received, in the 35 years I've been here, I'll receive a notice in the mail that we've been sued. Well, when they name you as a suit, you will be notified. That's the only reason I was saying that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Any more questions for me?
I'm good, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So I need a motion and a second.
Judge, I move that we accept the new jail standards and policy procedures as they're written and provided to us.
Second on that.
All right, any more discussion, guys? Call the roll. Kenny?
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is our CSEP emergency calendars. Michael, if you will. We took bids on this.
Yes, we did. This is the calendar that we mail out to every single household in Madison County. We've been doing this for years. We all do all the design in-house, and this is the actual printing of that. We had 2 people that bid on that, and we would like permission to award that to post-printing with a bid of $53,673. They were the low bid.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, guys?
Mike, this is a calendar that CSF helps produce to keep people aware of the activity at the Army Depot, the neutralization plant, along with other activities that are happening throughout the community and on a yearly basis. This is something that probably will cease as soon as the weapons are demilitarization process is completed out there.
Yes.
But we've got a couple more years on this, and
We do have a few more years on that, and we're talking about some things we're going to keep and some things we can get
Right.
rid of. But it's got this own information. It's got where you would relocate to. It's got about the depot. It also has some just general information on public safety for what to do during a storm, an earthquake, or things like that. And we've been very successful with this calendar. It's one way to reach almost every single household in Madison County.
and this is funded through CSF. It's not
100% funded through CSF,
county
yes.
fund. Right.
Yes, sir.
If the people will read it, it's very informative.
It is very informative, yes, sir.
Well, I guess a lot of people get calendars about that time, and you can only hang up 1 or 2, so, but I hope they would read the information in there.
I would too, yes.
If I remember right, Mr. Bryant, also that calendar has the information in there about how to shelter in place?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a valuable tool and one way that we can reach and touch every household in Madison County.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay.
Guys, we have a motion and a second. All discussion. Any more? Call the roll, please.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, next on the agenda is our ethics code. We had our first board meeting about 2 weeks ago, and it was excited to actually get this back started. The ethics board actually sent in a recommendation for us to have the first reading on the ethics code. We've made a few changes. A lot of the things are more just grammar, spelling, capitalization of words and things like that. So I need a motion in a second.
Judge, I think it'd be a good idea if you announce the members of the ethics board.
Okay, sure.
And the district they're representing.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great. So my appointment, well, I'll start, how I came up with the ethics board is I let myself and the magistrates choose an appointment from each district. So my choice was Mike Eckler. Tom's choice was Jeff Renner from District 4. Your choice was Jeff Masters from District 3. Roger's choice was Mary Lois Kearns from District 2. And Larry's was Buddy Montgomery from District 1. So I need a motion and a second on the first reading of Ordinance 1510, which is the Madison County Ethics Code.
Second.
Is there any discussions? Any discussions? That's not plural. Any discussion?
That was a pretty good document. It encompassed a lot of things. I did see some minor things that I want to try to address before we do the second reading on it.
Okay. That'd be great.
I just like to say, I think we've got 5 well-respected representatives for the county on this board, and I think they'll serve us well.
I agree. I'm excited. We had a great meeting and when they had their board meeting, so it's good. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. The next few items, guys, is some personnel hires. We need to get some people. We've got some positions that are open. It's a recommendation of the road department to hire 2 truck drivers. One of them is Christopher George. His previous employer was Madison County Board of Education. He has a Class B CDL, Kentucky driver's license. He's got experience, school bus driving, forklift certification, chainsaw operating, tractor experience, and his starting pay will be at $13 per hour. So I need a motion and a second to hire him. I guess we need to individually do each one. Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. The next in the truck driver general labor is Mr. Lewis Caulfield. His current employer is the Madison County Solid Waste. His qualifications is a Class B CDL, Kentucky driver's license, experience in tandem dump trucks, cargo trucks, single axle trucks, bobcat chainsaws, weed eaters. Starting pay will also be at $13 per hour.
So move to accept this gentleman.
Second.
Well, that means, Scott, you gonna need another one?
Yeah. And that'll be in the judge's report. Yeah, we got a position open in solid waste.
Judge, we're just transferring this gentleman to another
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, allowed to remove, but, okay.
Yeah, but the reason is to see road funds its own fund, so.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, the next guy here is Mr. Travis Shane French. And we actually, he went through the interview process a couple months back. And we actually hired him, but for personal reasons, he had some family emergencies, and he couldn't actually accept the job at that time. But he's actually come back and would like to work for us. And his name is Mr. Travis Shane French. His current employer is the Kentucky State Transportation Cabinet. His qualifications: a Class A CDL, experienced snow plowing, tractor operator, chainsaw, bush hog operator, dump truck operator, and his starting pay will also be at $13 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Judge, I'd like to just say that I think it's a good policy to hire people who've already got CDL license, and still we don't have to train them. They're already professionally trained and ready to go to work. So I think
Absolutely.
Scott and Willie's doing a great job on their interviewing and hiring recommendations, and I move we accept these 3 gentlemen.
Yep. And something I didn't mention is they all are Richmond residents. So I need a second.
Second.
No.
Botkin, second.
Oh, we already have.
had
I'm
a
sorry.
motion, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Master
Call roll.
Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is a heavy equipment operator. This is Mr. Fornes Earl Sizemore. His previous employer is Kentucky Highway Department. He also has a Class A CDL. He has 17 years of experience operating backhoe, trackhoe, grader, dozer, tandem axle, snow removal, loader, bobcat, and tractors. And his starting pay will be at $16 per hour as a heavy equipment operator.
So moved.
Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is a correction. Some paperwork was messed up when we hired Ricky Foster last meeting. I think whenever I stated his rate of pay was $15.50 per hour, it was supposed to be $16 per hour. So I need a motion and a second to make that correction in that hire.
So moved.
Second.
You're talking about the animal shelter?
No.
No, this is the Ricky Foster. He's the mechanic that we hired at the road department.
Okay.
That was a little,
Judge, on that, will we be billing departments that we work on their vehicles?
yeah, that's where the fleet program is, I think is really going to work out well. And I don't know exact numbers, but let's say when you go to a local mechanic, you might be paying, $30 an hour, whereas we can maybe provide that service to our other partners in county government for $20. But we will be actually billing all the different departments that we do work on their vehicles. And a lot of times you don't think of actually the long-term savings. We're going to keep up with the regular maintenance on these vehicles, so you're ultimately your truck's a perfect example.
You'll be in charge of that, won't you? Okay.
How long's your truck run?
He's got 300-some thousand on it,
That's right.
sitting out there in the parking lot, the oldest truck out there. I'm
Yeah.
sure we've got more dents than anyone.
But you've kept it up.
Well,
So-
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
It's got in
So-
the pocketbook a few times.
We've already made a motion.
Yeah, we already have a motion and a second, so discussion's over. So call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Animal Control Officer. We interviewed to replace a position there, and it's the recommendation to hire Justin Mitchell at $9.50 an hour for a 3-month probation period at $10 an hour after that. Mr. Mitchell is currently employed by the Bluegrass Career Development Center. He has experience handling animals, and he has an undergraduate degree in corrections from Eastern Kentucky University.
Doug, that might be somebody you can look at in the future.
Don't you be saying that now. No.
He has to bring a dog to work with him if he does.
I need a motion in a second.
Judge, I move that we hire Mr. Mitchell for the $9.50 and then after his probation to $10 an hour.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the hire of a part-time administrative assistant in the Planning and Development Department, Claudia Lanter, which we had a great summer with Claudia. She was actually an intern for us in the judge's office, and she's a great worker. She'll be working 2 days a week. They just need some help down there. They're very busy. They're a little overwhelmed, and I think Claudia would be a great fit, sort of as somewhat of a temporary position throughout this school year to see what direction we need to go down in the Planning and Zoning Department. This will be effective August the 30th, 2015 through May of 2016, and she will be at $7.25 an hour.
Judge, as the work she did in the office in here was outstanding. She was busy every time I came in there. And I'm sure probably this is going to be a stair step for her future career, but if we can get her and work with us for a while, I appreciate that.
Yep.
I think we should hire, I move that we hire Claudia.
Thanks, John.
Second.
She also, Judge, she's a very good example of how the intern program is a bonus to us. It's good for the students. It's definitely good for the county, and in this case, we get an exceptional employee out of it.
That's right.
We want to keep that alive and well.
Call the roll, please.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Guys, next on the agenda is a salary adjustment based on our administrative code adoption. So when we changed the administrative code, we've gone from some employees were 35 hours, some were 37 and a half, some were 40. And so when we went to a 37 and a half hour work week, the 35 hour people didn't really get an increase in their hourly rate because they're getting paid for 37 and a half hours of work. But the 40-hour people, we did not want to punish them, so they're actually working 2.5 hours less. So we left their actual gross where it was at, and so their actual hourly rate will change. And out of respect for our employees, I would like a motion and a second to approve the salary adjustment for the employees that are on this paper.
So we're adjusting the 40-hour workers down to the 37-hour week with the same pay they were getting at the 40 hours.
At the 40, so their actual hourly rate would change.
Would increase a little bit.
Yes.
Well, we still have some that will be working 40.
Well, yes, the road department and some of those, which in the administrative code, they didn't change. It actually.
Well, the custodian.
Right. And there was actually, and I'll say this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Out of all of our employees, there was only 13 of them that this affects.
Need a motion? So moved.
Yep.
Second.
Second?
And that's also, just for everybody's knowledge, is about 50 to 60 cents an hour. That's what it looks like, increase.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the adoption of a county road, which is Old South Drive. It's in Phase 4 of Indigo Run. There is a section of Old South that's in Phase 4. There's also one in Phase 6. We're only actually accepting the section of the road that's in Phase 4. I think it's about 1,610 feet of road. Willie's been out, inspected it, and has sent a recommendation into the court for approval. The bond actually will also be reduced from $20,000 to $10,000 because there's still a portion of Phase 4 that we have not taken in yet.
So you feel like 10 will cover Phase 4?
It's a sister street. It's actually, and I can't remember the actual name of the street, but they're the same distance. And so if 20,000, they run parallel with each other.
They run parallel.
Yeah.
Yeah, length should be the same.
That'll probably be next year, won't
Well, I think the understanding I have from Jim is that next street will actually lead on into Phase 7, and so he'll do the same thing with that section of that road in Phase 4 when he does Phase 7, because some of those rules have changed. You used to not put the final coat of blacktop down until 75% of the homes were complete, but now planning and zoning, I think last year, adopted a new ordinance that says that they put the final coat of blacktop down in the very beginning, and that their bond is for 50% of the final coat of blacktop. And so Phase 4 was in the old rules, Phase 6, and when he does Phase 7, it'll be in the new rules. So he's actually already when he put the final coat of blacktop down on Old South, he actually, Phase 4, he put the final coat of blacktop down in Phase 6.
Do we get a warranty on that blacktop for X number of months or year or anything in writing? Or is it just verbal?
What do you mean?
Could answer that.
Are you asking from the blacktop plant?
Yeah, well, the developer or whoever puts the blacktop down, I think there should be some accountability there. If they put it down in 6 months, it's tore up, what are we gonna do? I mean, I think it needs to be addressed by either this court or the planning commission or somebody.
How has it always been in the past, Larry?
Hearsay.
Oh.
The only thing we've ever had in the past was a guarantee from the developer for his bond and for the year after it's accepted. We have no guarantees from the blacktop plant as to the quality of what we're buying.
Yeah, I know you couldn't hold them responsible. I mean, we got enough attorneys in here to tell me that, but, I know you couldn't hold them back.
But now we still have bonds on the subdivision.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, we still have his $10,000 bond that is for phase 4, and then
That
he
wouldn't apply to something that you're gonna accept today.
I don't know.
You're gonna release that bond, correct? Go ahead.
That's one of the reasons that we changed the procedure for that, because once the county adopted the road, it was the county's.
That's right.
So we changed the procedure, they go ahead and finish the road now, then they put up a bond for any maintenance or repairs that might come up before the county adopts the road. So the road's done, they still have to insure it with 50% of the cost of that final cap.
That answered my question.
The cap's already there, the work's done, you still have 50% to make any repairs.
And I think there's less damage when you go ahead and put the top coat on it than just the thin coat.
I think time will prove that's right or wrong.
Well, I think
Because
it'd
it's
be
a trial period for us also.
Yeah.
And I think in the ordinance it reads that we have up to a year after the final coat of blacktop, or I guess that we have up to a year of once 75% of the houses are complete to accept that road and release that bond, I believe is actually how the ordinance reads.
When the developer requests that road be taken in, you have a year from that time. So if you go out and you inspect that road and you see a place that looks a little questionable, you might let it sit there for a few months before you adopt that road in to see if it's gonna need any work before you accept that road and release that bond.
Right.
That answered my question. Thank you.
So we already have a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next on the agenda is adopting a new fee schedule for planning and development. I mean, this would be planning and zoning fees. This would be electrical inspection fees. It would be building permit fees. And how we arrived at this point is, as I had Bert and Marty do some research on actually what our county was charging for our services. And just to give an example of an electrical inspection fee of a 200 amp service, Richmond and Berea are charging $150, and the county is charging $100. Our proposed charge would be for the county $175, and of course this might sound like a lot, but you know, guys, if we look up at the map and we see how much bigger area that we have to cover as a county to provide these services versus what, you know, both cities have to cover, you know, our expenses are a little greater. And, you know, I'm all about providing this service. I think it protects our community, but at the same time, if we can get a little closer to even than how much we're actually losing, I think it would be a lot better. So I have the proposed. Y'all have a list, I think, on Dropbox that shows what the Richmond charge is, the Berea charge is, what the county current charge is, and then what our proposed charge is. And ultimately, what we're doing is just trying to get right there in line with Richmond.
So that folks know, Judge, what was our loss last year? Approximately.
A lot. I've got all those numbers. I know that we, in electrical permit fees, we collected right at $34,000. I think it was just a hair less than $34,000 in electrical permit fees. And our electrical inspector, his salary was $37,000, which doesn't include all of the benefits, retirement. It doesn't include paper on the desk. It doesn't include gas in the vehicle. It doesn't include maintenance on the vehicle. And like I said, you know, it's all about providing a service to our community. But if we could get to a point where we're only losing 10,000 a year versus 40,000 a year, and we're justified in it, you know. If our rates were already with where Richmond and Berea were, I mean, I wouldn't even be bringing this up. But I don't think our rates have been changed in a long time, is my understanding. Nobody could really give me a date of when the last time they were changed, but it was a long time.
I think it's the county's responsibility to provide these services for the residents of the county, but we can't continue to go in the red on these. We've got to at least balance their budget and come out even on or something, Judge. I don't think we should be, be in a deficit on these fees. So I move we.
And I talked to, I didn't just bring this on. I mean, I talked to a lot of electricians. I talked to several builders just to see, what their comments were back, what their thoughts on this was. And they said, of course, we're the cheapest around. One electrician had told me that they went to a couple counties over, and where an electrical permit here would be, $200. It was $700 in that county. And so, everywhere is a little across the board. I think when I figured this up, I think a $200,000 house on building permits was like $600 in the city of Richmond. And what we currently charge right now for our service is $375. And any new construction house, whether that's electrical or building, it's a minimum of 5 trips for all the inspections that they have. So.
Aren't you comfortable with this new setup?
It's overdue. I mean, like the judge said, they've never been changed since I've been here, and I don't think they've ever been changed since Madison County's had its own inspection department. So you're talking about 15 or 16 years that the fees have never been changed at least.
Well, at that time, we had so many more, and it didn't show the deficit we have today because there was so much more building going on. So that stands to reason.
And when you think about an electrical inspector, for instance, could have an inspection in Red Lick, and then he has to turn around, he has to drive all the way to Boone's Trace, And then just some of the planning and zoning fees, like Richmond charges $150 for a minor plat, $2 plus $2.50 per lot. We were charging $40 plus $2.50 per lot. Which the $2.50 per lot, from my understanding, on a minor plat, you can only have 3 lots. So you have your original track, and then you can have 2 more. So that $2.50 per lot is really not a whole lot, So we went just to a flat rate of our proposal is to go to just a flat rate of $150 on a minor plat. But y'all can see this. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I did the same as you did, Judge. I contacted a builder about it and just asked him about them and talked about some of the rates, and they didn't think that it was way out of range either, so
Yep.
I'm comfortable with it.
So I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, we need a motion in a second to go into an executive session
Purpose,
to discuss potential litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. And y'all.
Put one finger up, I think.
All right, Clerk Barger.
Yes, sir.
Roger made a motion, and Larry seconded it to come back out of executive session.
Right.
At this time, I need a motion in a second for the court to go in to litigation against Grand Campus.
Well, I'm sorry, vote on that, and then.
So move.
We just
did.
need to vote.
Motion and second. We
Oh, I thought you had to
on
vote in there.
Okay.
We need to vote on it in court here.
In court?
Okay, I made
Okay.
the motion.
Larry second.
So we call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor? All right.
So now, I need a motion and a second for the court to seek legal counsel with Coy Gilbert and Gilbert to go along with the school board and the library board to seek action against Grand Campus, stating that the Grand Campus properties is taxable.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the judge's report, and I am very, very happy to announce that our Whitehall Park will be reopening on September the 4th at 4 p.m. The only down to this is that there will be no activities that include fishing with the lake at the park until April of 2016. Right now, the water level is down so low where they had to run the gas line through the pond. It's just too dangerous to allow fishing at this time. That's right. That's right. They don't. That's exactly right. So we are excited to open it. We're going to do some maintenance stuff out there, cleaning things up and getting it ready for Labor Day weekend. So anybody that wants the use of the park, please contact our Parks Director, Philip Seifert, and the park will be open on September the 4th at 4 p.m., which is a Friday, which is the start of Labor Day weekend. So we're glad the Spectra Energy and Texas Eastern Gas Pipeline did a wonderful job of getting it done. They had some tough weather to deal with, and we still got it done yesterday.
Ahead of schedule.
So ahead of schedule, that's right. I want to recognize Scott Tussey for the hard work that he and his team did for River Sweep. I hated, and I apologize again that I couldn't be there, but I hated it that it rained us out the first day because I had every intentions of being there. But it was a great success. I think you got a lot of trash picked up. One of our magistrates fell and got a bruise. I understood. So
Just left.
So we had an exciting Saturday, I was told. So employment opportunities, our EMA director is still out there, and solid waste truck driver has been reposted. So there you go, Larry. That was the reposting of solid waste. The charitable contribution applications went online August the 3rd. Deadline is September the 30th. And then some upcoming events that are going to be happening, if everybody wants to write these down. Battle of Richmond reenactment is August the 29th and 30th, which is this weekend coming up. Then the Richmond Area Arts Center Gala is Friday, September the 11th at 5:30 p.m. CSEP community exercise will be held September 15th and 16th. And then the tire collection program will be held on September the 17th through the 19th. Scott, did we get lined up with Berea? If you want to come up and speak on that real quick, because I think that this will happen right after our next meeting, and so we really want to make sure the community knows about the tire collection
Judge,
program.
that event will be on September 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Yes,
is that correct?
That's right.
I have worked with the city of Berea. They are going to use their old street department area. I think it's 208 South Broadway.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to restrict that site for quantities less than 25 tires. So if you've got less than 25, you can drop them off there. And then if you've got quantities larger than that, we'll have to come up to the state road department on Lexington Road. Now, during the event, we'll take in agricultural, passenger tires, tractor trailer tires on and off of the rims. The only ineligible people that cannot drop off tires are people in the tire retail business and scrap yards. So that's the state's rulings. They're administering the program and the funds for the program, and we have to follow by their rules.
Right.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you, Scott, if any of the tire dealers were able to participate, and it's good that they aren't because they have other ways, and they would overload our system here where we're getting this done from the state, so.
Exactly.
And I really want everybody to encourage the people of the community to use this program because this keeps tires from the road department, from Scott's solid waste department of actually having to go to roadways and clean them up off the sides of the roads.
Out of the water stream.
That's right. Rivers, streams.
Come out of the river, Judge, I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
Historically, in 2009, we removed approximately 76,000. In 2012, it was around 46,000. But there was some difference in the time gap in between the events during those as well.
Right. So encourage the communities wherever you are that we do have this going on September 17th, 18th, and 19th, and just plan to get rid of the tires.
And we'll have it advertised in the paper as well as I'll start distributing flyers around town at all the small stores and stuff like that and word of mouth and start getting it out.
Scott, how many tires did y'all actually pick up in your river sweep down there?
Surprisingly, I believe less than 7 to 8 tires came out of the river from that cleanup. I didn't see everything that moved out from the shoreline, but I would estimate 7 or 8 tires.
A lot of them are buried in the mud and stuff, and you don't.
Yeah, they do. They do tend to get buried.
Thank you.
Scott, myself as a master in Southern Madison County, I want to thank you for contacting the city of Berea, and I want to thank the city of Berea for working with us on this because it'll make it a lot more attractive
That's
to
right.
those people in Southern Madison County, and I thank you again for doing that.
Yep.
And this time we let the tires build up in 2009 when we did that down there and then started transporting them, but we're going to transport them as we get them, so to keep the flow of tires going from Berea up to the state highway department. So
We had 2 acres at Big Hill one time. I mean, high as you could stack. Because I know where most of those come from. They probably wasn't in Madison County, but they was going to get dumped in Madison County, but we got them right there. Once those tires are transported, they recycle?
well, the tires that go through the program, through the waste tire disposal events, those tires are transported to a company called Liberty Tire. It's out in Crittenden, Kentucky. They take those and shred those, Sheriff Coyle, and they will shred them and extract the metal. And they will use them for beneficial reuse, some being tire-derived fuel projects. You can put them in cement kilns and help fire the cement process of making cement, as well as the tractor-trailer tires are shredded up for the crumb rubber projects where you see for the landscaping mulch and the playground mulch. That's mainly how those are reused. So there is a beneficial reuse to every tire that goes through this program, that being a mulch product or it's used for tire-derived fuels.
Good.
And that's 208 South Broadway for Berea, and Richmond is here at the motor pool. Is that correct?
Yes, State Highway Department on Lexington Road.
State highway.
Yeah. Right past the old drive-in. You remember that?
Remember,
All right.
I can't, I'll call you, Judge.
All right. Next is comments from department heads, and I think Scott and Willie going to present a little to us today. We don't really have to be worried too much about Willie talking too long.
With the court's permission, I have a short report.
Appreciate you being here, buddy.
Thank you. Madison County was hit with a series of disasters that the road department's not accustomed to dealing with. During the middle of March 2015, the county received very significant snowfalls totaling over 24 inches. Although the snowfall closed many businesses and government agencies, the road department was able to keep the county moving. Thanks to our dedicated employees, by them running extended hours with the snowplows, that the county agencies were able to access those in need and shortly had all the county roads accessible. During the first part of April, Madison County experienced back-to-back floods, devastating county roads, bridges, and culverts. Great progress has been made throughout the past few months to fix the infrastructure. The road department has completed work on 3 new bridges, which are Cane Springs, Oakley Wells, and Knob Lick. The Sam Jones Bridge is still in the planning process, and we hope work can be started soon. All the road department staff, magistrates, and the fiscal court has worked diligently with disaster relief agencies such as FEMA, NRCS, and the state emergency funds to aggressively find solutions to fix the damages caused by the flooding. The road department is now at the stage of cleaning, fixing, and replacing damaged culverts, and we have completed replacing 27 culverts since January, 17 of those being in the month of July. We do have that many more planned during the next several weeks, and I ask that the public be patient until we get to theirs, or whatever their request may be. In the month of July, we have used almost 700 tons of rock repairing flood damage, and some of it for replacing the culverts.
Do you feel like, you done?
No, I have more,
He's got 3 more pages, Larry.
but go ahead.
But do you feel like we'll receive some of that money back?
We've been promised from FEMA
Okay. I'm sorry to
that we're eligible for a lot of it, yes. And NRCS, we're getting some significant amount from the NRCS.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Mowing has also been a challenge with all the rain that we've had across our county. It's nearly impossible for us to effectively mow while it's raining. And depending on the amount of rainfall, it may take 2 to 3 days before we can mow grass again. Obviously, if it's underwater, you can't mow it. And it seriously put us behind in our routes. Please understand that we mow every day that's possible. We have 4 side mount mowers that run. We have 2 batwing mowers, and we have 2 slope mowers. We're mowing over 600 miles of roads, and that's double when you go both directions. So that's 1,200 miles of roads. Lastly is the blacktop, and we're running out of prime time, the weather for the blacktop, and we're in the beginning phase of the summer blacktopping projects. The road department has worked closely with each magistrate to assess all county roads in need of blacktop repair and choose the section of roads in the direst need according to the budget restrictions. Every road is important, but to keep the infrastructure intact, there are just certain places that require fixing before others. We understand that we have many roads needing blacktop, and we'll continue to search for more budgeted funds to hopefully get more blacktop in budget in the future. In closing, the road department would like to thank all the citizens of Madison County for their continued input when there is a problem with high water, potholes, downed trees, mudslides, stopped up culverts, signage problems, or any other issues that may be encountered that we can help with. It is our goal to make Madison County the best place to live through the work we do. Thank you.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank you, Willie.
Guys, y'all have any questions, comments?
I'd just like to thank Willie and the road department, Scott. A great job they're doing down there. I know we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're hitting it just as hard as we can go, I'm sure. And just like Willie said, be patient. We'll get to it sooner or later. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the smell of fresh blacktop.
Coming soon.
All right.
I'd like to go over a tax sale just a second. We had our tax sale Thursday. Just a few numbers I put together. We sold 251 bills totaling $365,000 on Thursday.
Totaling how much?
$365,762. So that's for all tax districts. That's all fees and penalties and interest, everything added together. Of the 1,721 bills we received on 15th from Sheriff Cole, we have 410 of those bills left. And of those 410 bills, it only totals up to $97,239. So we have, between the Sheriff's Department and us, I think we're doing an excellent job in collecting these taxes. We'll continue to do everything we can to make it easier for the citizens and to make it better for these third-party buyers that come to these sales, because several county clerks I talked to last week, they'd have 1 or 2 buyers show up for their tax sale. So even though they might have bills for sale, nobody wanted them. So to get down to $97,000 out of the amount of money that we collect every year, I think's we're doing a pretty good job, and we're glad to do it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kenny. Y'all have any questions?
Outstanding.
Yes, good. Sheriff? Thank you.
We'll add to that, I think we were projected 48 million in collection this year.
Yep.
That's great. All right, comments from magistrates. Tom?
I guess since we had Willie up here, I'll just start with him. I just wanted to commend the guys down at the road department. Matt's been doing a couple of projects out at Battlefield that I've gotten calls on. That's outstanding. Over on 25, we've got an area over there that just has to have some constant mowing and weed eating to it, and they've been taking care of that for me, allowing me to work with some project that requires pictures, and I have to get good, but they've been taking care of that, and I certainly appreciate that. The one thing that I think that we need to consider and try to get a plan out before we do run out of time is that which trying to get the gravel out of the places where that we can to put back on our roads. We can help ourselves on our own county roads if we can just get some of our gravel. Now, how we'll have to work that plan out, the judge gives us the okay, and Willie, you're the main man to make that happen, but we don't want to forget that. I also want to thank you for taking care of the Will Green Lake parking lot out there and getting it serviceable to both lots. They were at a point where at 18 boats and trailers out there, that parking lot was gridlocked. And that has allowed them to double their capacity. And I think it's on September the 9th, the Toys or Tots are having a tournament out there, and they would appreciate everyone attending that. I want to just commend Scott Tussey for the work out at the river sweep. Now, Judge, you kind of got the facts mixed up on that. I want to just clear that up. I sort of surveyed the situation when I got there, and I saw a nice plushy beach that I could go to and pick up a few cans. And when I got there, I said, "Where would you like me to go, Scott?" He said, "Over there across the river in those rocks." So there I went, and yes, I'm old and feeble, and the arm's almost healed up, Scott. Thank you for bringing that up. I certainly appreciate that.
I was concerned.
I'll ride with you next year. Also, we got to attend the Pops in the Park. That was a fantastic event, and if you didn't get to go to that, I hope that you'll definitely consider that next year. That we just had a great time out of that. One of the things that we get to do as magistrates as we go along is we get to go to training events here and there, and it's good news, bad news on some of them. John Tudor and I got to go to a training class from the Highway Department down in London a couple weeks ago, and one of the areas that they covered down there was signs. That's good news. We know what to look for in signs. That's bad news because we also know we have a lot of signs that we have to replace, and Scott, we've already been contacting you about that, and you know you've got your hands full there, but we certainly appreciate your efforts in trying to get those replaced as we find them. I want to thank the sheriff. We got a call over the weekend, or email, text over the weekend concerning the task force and a raid that they had, and they're doing outstanding. You know, that one was really close to home for me, and I appreciate that, and you giving us the alert and letting us know about that. And I just want to thank you very much for that. And let's see, last thing I had was simply everybody across the county. It doesn't make any difference. We just saw it right there over in the clerk's office. He's doing a good job. HR's doing a good job. Road department's doing a good job. Fire department's doing a good job. Jail's doing a good job. Sheriff's department's doing a good job. Listen, guys, we're all a team. We all work together. If one of us hurts, we all hurt. So we just want to keep up the good work across the county, and thank every one of you very much.
Judge, we're out of time for the magistrate's comments. He took it out today, so.
Now that
You're cut short.
I'm cut short. Tom would have to bring up the training over in London we had the other day, and we set into a training that explained how they test the fluorescent and the ability for the sign to still be workable at night vision. And they do have a meter for that with a light on it. You can drive around at night and test those meters. And Tom happened to mention that the other test is any 60-year-old person is his eyesight does the same testing that meter does, so now I'm qualified now. So
That's regulation.
we don't even have to buy a meter. I can just drive around in the dark and test the fluorescence ability of the signs. But Willie pretty much brought up, 3rd District has been busy this spring, and a lot of the major projects have been in 3rd District, and I appreciate the road department working with them like we have. And we've got 3 major bridges back. We got, like Willie said, 1 more to work on, and we're hopeful we're going to get something done before bad weather. I can't promise it, but we're working every day. I took 5 people down there to look at it and get some ideas on it to try to get the hydraulics approved and get moving forward on that this past week. The judge is doing all he can. It's just been busy, and appreciate all that the departments are working at. The Battle of Richmond's coming up this weekend. Is that right?
Yep.
Please go out there and attend that. It's usually hot weather, but it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. So if you haven't seen that, that is something that Richmond is famous for, and it's historical to go out there and watch the reenactment of the Battle of Richmond. And so get out there and be interested in the activities around your community and get involved. And thank Jimmy Cox. I made a call for him this week, and he took care of my problem. And I've got potholes and roads out in Sweetwater Court. We've got some pre-surface work done out there. We're ready to lay some blacktop out there, and hopefully within the next couple, 3 weeks, we'll get some major blacktopping done in the county, and just trying to move forward. If you have any questions, any concerns, give us a call. That's what we're here for. Thank you all.
Thanks, John. Raj?
Well, they about covered it all, so I don't have to say much. I want to thank Chief Cox as well, because not once, but a number of times, he sends them down to wash inches of mud off the road when the ferry's been closed because of the water being up. People don't realize that, but they sometimes a day's work just getting the road cleaned up so we can open back up. It's been terrible down there at times, and they've never stopped to answer the call when we call, so I appreciate that. The other good thing is the park's opening back up. There's a great number of people that relies on that park. They was really upset when we had to close it down, even though it wasn't our fault. I mean, we was getting the blame for it. We should have had some other way of routing their pipelines, I guess, but we didn't call that shot. But tickled death that it's going to be opened back up. I know the north end's really going to use it, and people from all over the county comes to it. But that's about all I got, Judge. Everything doing good.
Thanks, buddy. Larry?
Judge, I have 2 or 3 things. One is I gave everybody a brochure on Victory Garden in Berea, and that consisted of about 90 locations, and it gives you the directions. You can see every one of them from the road. And I laid some more out in the foyer, but they just wanted me to relay on to the court how much they appreciate us helping sponsor that, and I think it was a very big success, and hopefully they'll do it again next year. And you know, I don't know how much. Well, I know a lot of people got some detail up because they had some real pretty gardens, and it's a bad year for a garden anyway. So, but that was one thing. The other thing, Judge, on what are we going to do on trapping these animals? Are we going to hire somebody for that, or are we just going to discontinue that? Or
Yeah, we're just going to discontinue it. I don't feel that. When I found out, I mean, we were spending, I think it was roughly around $8,000 a year, and in that service, but yet I couldn't find any kind of documentation or ordinance or any kind of grant that we had gotten for that service. And really, to me, it's really not any different than paying somebody's plumbing bill if they have a leaky sink, or you know, and again, I'm open if we want to take some of our funds and start a grant program that, or if we want to look with Cheryl to see if there is some type of funding mechanism out there. But you know, it was a service that we were providing that nobody really even knew anything about. Even our staff really didn't know about it.
well, I understand what you're saying there, but you know, from time to time, you're going to have problems with skunks, and in some of the bigger subdivision we have, I mean, they just can't go out there with a gun and shoot them. They have to be trapped. And this guy was licensed to do it, and I think, what he charged, $30 a set of trap or something like that?
I think it was like $35. Well, the information that I saw was like $35 a trip.
So, you know, I don't know if y'all have that problem, but I do, monthly. You know, I called you the other day, and there's 4 right there in the subdivision.
Yeah.
I know the neighbor said, well, I'm gonna shoot them. I said, you can't shoot a gun in city limits. And then, I mean, and especially with kids around and stuff, and then, we've had 2 or 3 subdivision in the southern end that's had a big problem, and of course, they just move at certain times.
Right.
And I don't know, I mean, maybe it's not justified, but I know the landowner or whoever owns that property, they're not gonna hire somebody to come do that. Unless maybe they had association, and maybe all of them got together and put it in.